I'm Superphiz. This is State of the Stake episode number 37. There are a couple things I'm interested in talking about today, and some of them are things that I've refrained from talking about in the past because as the Beacon Chain Health Coordinator, my goal is to build bridges with all of the parties associated with staking, whether that's implementation clients, researchers, staking pools, or even hardware producers like Avado and Dapnode. My goal really is to build bridges and include everyone. And because of that, I've been walking this really fine line with staking pools, where I participate in the Ethereum Due Diligence Committee to help vet staking pools, and at the same time, I'm telling people, wait, it's too early to give your money to staking pools. And then I've observed pools being slashed, and I'm, reiterating, please, we're not ready, let's wait till June. And all this time, there's been this undercurrent of Superphiz's interest in Rocket Pool. And I've tried really hard to sort of negate my own interest in the interest of supporting other pools and sort of kind of taking a step back and remaining impartial. Rocket Pool has three features that sets it aside from nearly every pool that really caused me to be a supporter of it and be a part of their mission. And one of the reasons I can support Rocket Pool so openly right now is they haven't launched. They're not actually accepting funds. To be honest with you, when they do launch, I'm going to step back and maybe even change course and urge caution for 6 months. And I'm going to say, we need to see how well this works, just like I'm doing with the staking pools that are live on the network right now. I don't think it's wise to give them your funds. Let's wait and see. And one of the things we're seeing is that several pools are being slashed. One pool has been slashed repeatedly. And that's actually something we're going to discuss with the Ethereum Due Diligence Committee. Rocket Pool isn't accepting funds. So as a project in development, it's easy for me to say, hey, I'm optimistic about this. I think they can do a good job. There are three things that cause me to be excited about Rocket Pool. And if other pools implemented these things, I would find it much easier to support them. And what I believe is going to happen is, in the future, pools in general, if the community is strong enough, will tend toward these ideas rather than the black box pool staking that we have now. The three things that Rocket Pool has that I would look for in other pools, and if other pools had these, it would be so much easier for me to promote them, are open source code, decentralized staking. That means that staking occurs by small operators all around the world, and they're not a custodian of funds. They don't collect your funds and redisperse them later. The funds go to a smart contract, and from there, they're distributed back to users when the merge goes live. And so these three things are what I consider to be cornerstones of a healthy staking pool network. When other pools don't have these things, I can't feign impartiality and suggest that they're just as good. What I can do is work with the community to vet them and say they are safe or they are less safe. Now, I'm not against any of the pools. In fact, I've developed friendships with some of the pool operators and I like them. I'm okay if you feel like you're ready to stake with them. That's something that I'm not going to take away from you. But as the Beacon Chain Health Coordinator, my goal is to help support the chain and help preserve user funds. And with that in mind, I'm looking at the options, and I see that Rocket Pool has open source code, decentralized staking, and no custodial funds. And I think, well, that's the direction we need to be headed in. With that out of the way, and that's something that I've sort of held off on bringing up because I wanted to maintain impartiality. And now I can say, look, I think Rocket Pool is going to be a great product. I think there are some other staking pools that have merit, but unless they're reaching for this standard, they are not on the same playing field. Now, I've talked about why I'm excited about Rocket Pool, and let me tell you what I believe needs to happen before Rocket Pool launches in order to promote the health of the network. There are two features. Right now, at least in beta 2.5, Rocket Pool supported Prism and Lighthouse. And that's great. Prism and Lighthouse are the two staking clients with the largest proportion of the network. very recently, an independent developer submitted a pull request to Rocket Pool to include Teku. And that's fantastic. That is the thing that I want to see. I want to see Rocket Pool able to run any of the validator clients and support the network from that perspective of decentralization. And so we're missing one. Nimbus has not been integrated into Rocket Pool, and that's okay. Like, I'm not upset about it, but we are the community, and developers will build what the community looks for. And as a representative of the community, I'm sharing with you that the thing that we need next from Rocket Pool is for either independent developers or for Nimbus to submit pull requests to include Rocket Pool into the default installer for their smart node client. If that happens, when Rocket Pool launches in whatever, March, April, May, they will be able to support any of the 4 Genesis launch clients, and at that point I would be ready to call them a fully featured staking client. That's our dream of a one-click installer. But there's one more problem. That one-click installer is based around Rocket Pool's smart node architecture. And really what that's designed to do is to interact with smart contracts so that the node operator holds 16 ETH and then collects 16 ETH from other depositors and stakes on their behalf. That's great. I'm fine with that model. But I'd also like, in addition to the feature to add Nimbus, I also believe the other thing that needs to happen is, as an open source community-oriented project, Rocket Pool should use its installation infrastructure, which is open source and could easily be forked, to integrate solo staking into their client. That may not make sense to you. Why would a pool operator software include a single-click installer for a solo client? Well, because it's in the best interest of the community. A lot of people want to stake but have difficulty setting up the node. Rocket Pool has simplified that tooling so that setting up a node is very easy, and right now that tooling is specific to their smart contract pool. What I'd like to see is an option in that installer, whether it be a fork or whether it be in the main release, that allows people to stake solo with the recognition that they're not going to get the additional rewards, and essentially that it doesn't use the Rocket Pool smart node software for anything other than solo staking. I just think it's a great feature. With all of that said, there's one more layer that I actually know is on the way, and that would be a visual installer for the Rocket Pool smart node. That's not something I need to push because I know it's going to happen. But my message today is Rocket Pool is a game changer. It's decentralized, it is non-custodial, and it is open source. It is the model for staking pools of the future. But before it launches, it needs 2 additional features. It needs to integrate all 4 Genesis Beacon Chain clients, and it needs to include an option for people who want to use that excellent tooling to do solo staking rather than staking with the pool. And so the reason I say this to you now is we are the community. We may not have power as individuals, but when we get together as a group of 10,000 people and say, hey, this is the thing we want, then people are going to build toward that. And if it takes a any kind of support, if you need a bounty, if you're interested but you need a team, then reach out to ETHStaker. Let us help connect you. By all means, feel free to contact Rocket Pool. I know that Rocket Pool and Nimbus are heads down right now. They have a lot on their table, and so I'm not really asking you to make this their problem. I'm suggesting that as open source software, we the community, people who are not otherwise engaged, have the opportunity to build these tools and then just offer them up for use. So yeah, I'm glad to be in this position to recognize these needs and to share them with you. Let me know if it works for you, and Take care. Again, my name is Superphiz. I am an organizer for the ETHStaker community. You can find us at reddit.com/r/ETHStaker or on our Discord at invite.gg/ETHStaker. Thanks for your time. Take care.